Today I'm speaking with Chris Muench, CEO at C Labs, about Internet of Things. Welcome, Chris.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
So let's start with this. How is the Internet of Things different from the industrial Internet of Things?
So the Internet of Things is something that is evolving in different stages. It evolved from M2M to something we called TOI, Things on Internet, to eventually reaching the Internet of Things phase. We're currently in the Things on Internet phase, which means we connect all these devices to the Internet and to clouds instead of connecting devices directly to each other. You see a lot of solutions on the market that focus on pushing data up into cloud services instead of creating value directly between the machines themselves. And while the Internet of Things is focusing on connecting the things together, the Things on Internet is more focusing on collecting data into the cloud and making the cloud vendors happy of these kind of solutions. Also, it's started in the consumer area where you probably have heard about the Nest thermostats and other consumer solutions that follow exactly the TOI model that pushes data from the thermostat into the cloud, and you get nice charts on how you used your temperature in your living room. But it's not really an Internet of Things situation where your alarm system and your thermostat and your wearables all talk to each other without the internet even involved. So that's kind of the evolution that we're seeing from traditional M2M, which is just machine-to-machine communication, to Things on Internet, where you connect everything to a central service in the cloud, and then finally the IoT stage, which is the value that's created by connecting all these services directly to each other.
Okay. So in industrial plants, it's common to see equipment and automation systems that are proprietary and, with their own proprietary protocols and interfaces and things like that. Is it practical to try to apply the Internet of Things to that? How do you do that?
Yes, it's very practical, and in fact, you cannot just throw out everything and replace it with new equipment just because the Internet of Things is arriving. You have to include equipment that is not built for the Internet of Things. It has old traditional interfaces, maybe serial ports or just GPIOs. You still want to have them participate in the Internet of Things. Also, you can add sensors to machines just to determine the state of a machine by non-intrusive sensors, for example, vibration, power meters, and stuff like that, to get at least the state out of the machine. That already creates a lot of value for customers to know what the machine is currently doing. Non-intrusive ways of reading health information for the machine is kind of the first stepping stone in the IoT. And the next generation machines hopefully have an IoT technology built in, where reading the data and transmitting the data through the IoT is much easier. But there's definitely a path for older machines that have not been built for the IoT as well.
Okay. Well, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the organization, the industrial company itself, and specifically the enterprise IT side. In a lot of companies, they haven't really had anything to do with the plant equipment. Do you see that changing?
Yeah, we see that changing dramatically. In fact, over the last 10 years, there's a big push coming through Stuxnet and other threats from the outside world to bring more security down to the manufacturing level. It's not the task of a system operator or a manufacturer in the factory plant to care about security. His task is to keep the machines running and keep the production going. So it's the task of the IT department to secure the system. But the IT guys don't know much about operations. Operations don't know much about IT. So our product, Factory Relay, is helping to bring those two groups together and work together. We give the OT guys, the operation technology guys, a way to get that data out into new systems, and we get the IT guys a technology that they can control the flow, they can secure this line, and make sure the communication between the OT and the IT is safe and secure. We see more and more the IT getting hands and devices ready in the OT area. Everything that is smart, that has an Ethernet connection, will eventually be under the control and under the management of IT. And we help the IT guys to learn more about the influence and the actually operations that happens on the OT realm with a very secure technology.
We see also in the marketplace there's the notion of industrial Internet of Things, which is the terminology we've been talking about so far. But there's also Industry 4.0. Depending on how you think about it, maybe those are essentially the same thing, or maybe those are solving different problems. How do you look at it?
We see the Industry 4.0 initiative of the German government slightly different than the IIoT. For us at C-Labs, we think that the IoT is one of the fundamental platforms and technologies used in Industry 4.0. But Industry 4.0 is encompassing much more than just the IoT. It also includes analytics, improving of machine connectivity. The whole production process needs to be optimized, and that's not just task of the IoT. IoT is one of the tools, I would say, to make Industry 4.0 happen, but it's not the foundation. It's the foundation, but it's not actually the same as Industry 4.0. It's a hierarchy of things, and the lowest hierarchy is communication. You have to have good communication in place to make these other services work perfectly, and that's the role of the IoT, the industrial IoT.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Some really good ideas there. I've enjoyed that quite a bit.
Thank you very much for having me.
I've been speaking with Chris Muench of C-Labs. Thanks for watching.